Good morning. Definitely excited to be here in the first, like Ray said, inaugural Nova Homes Arizona Bowl. We're extremely excited. We are getting ready to have our 14th practice this morning. That sounds like a lot, but I think we spread it out in a way where we could be ready and energized going into this bowl game. We had 10 practices spread out through the month of December back at home in Fort Collins, and gave the guys off 4 days where they got to go home and spend some time with the family and friends and loved ones. And we all reported here on the 25th of December on Christmas Day and was able to start practice. And since the day we got here, the bowl committee, everybody that's been involved with the bowl has been extraordinary. Definitely been first class, as used to the bowls that I've been used to going to at the previous places where I've been employed. It's been very, very much the same. Tried to treat everybody from player, coach, wives, support staff in a first-class manner, and we've been very welcomed here. We were able to practice the night of the 25th, kind of like our Monday practice of a game week. We practiced the 26th. It was like a Tuesday. We practiced yesterday, was like a Wednesday, and then today is going to kind of be a Thursday/Friday type practice today. More our special teams, and then we'll try and do a little bit of a walkthrough, a little bit more than we normally do on a Friday, but we are on a short week because of bowl practice, and we want to make sure we're prepared and ready to go. We've had a great time here in Arizona. The guys have enjoyed the hotel. They have enjoyed the things that they've got to do. But we've also been here on a job to do, and that's get ready to play this ball game. We're playing a very tough opponent in Nevada, who, you know, the first thing that comes to mind, and I know we'll talk about it here in a minute, for me is, you know, I coach a lot on the offense. I call the offensive side of the football, but those two defensive ends, Sayal and Jones, they are a real force. It's something that we're going to have to do a good job tomorrow if we want to move the ball offensively. Defensively, when you look at these guys, you think about the two running backs have rushed for over 1,000 yards, and they've got two big receivers on the outside, where if you put too many guys in the box, you got to win the one-on-one matchups outside. So it's going to be a tough task. We know that. They're a tough opponent. Yes, they're in our conference. You know, these two guys to my right and left have played Nevada. I haven't played Nevada before, so I'm excited about playing Nevada, and I know they are too. It's a little bit different. You know, I think the first time since non-BCS since the 1970s where you played an in-conference opponent for a bowl game. But it's a chance for us to play one more game. It's a chance for us to finish strong this year and start strong going into the new year. And that's what we're going to try to do as a football team, and we're going to go out there and play Colorado State Ram football. We're going to try to be physical. We're going to try to exert our will, but we're going to have to limit our mistakes and make some big plays in order to win this ball game. But again, definitely excited about being here and enjoyed our time. And it's about that time to play some football. So today we got to reel the guys back in a little bit. You know, we got to remind them it's the day before the game. A lot of family and friends in the hotel. Say hello. You know, kiss them, you know, but remember our minds got to be on the game tomorrow and get focused in what we got to do. But, you know, I'll turn it over to Kivon first, since he's the elder statesman up here. He's been in our program for, I think, 8 years, but let him talk a little bit about his experiences. Kivon?
Thanks everybody. You know, the whole bowl experience, like Coach Bobo said, it's been great. It's been a high-class experience. You know, when me and the other guys got off the plane, there was somebody there to greet us and, you know, help us with our bags, and, you know, there's a lot of people, a lot of fans. So it's been great. It's been a wonderful experience. You know, last night we went out, we had a lot of fun, and you know, like Coach Bobo said, as of now, you know, it's focus mode. And when we first got in, you know, we had to focus on our practices, but then we had some downtime. But now, you know, everybody's really honing into the game plan. We're just focused on the game. And, you know, being a senior, being here for 8 years, or, you know, however long it's been, you know, it's been a blessing to be a part of this program. You'll be a part of the great people, you know, from staff all the way to the players. And, you know, just to be here from when I first came in, where the program was and to where it's at now. And I'm just excited for the future and where we're going in the next few years. So, you know, it's really been a blessing.
Thank you, everybody, for having us. As Kivon said, when we first got here, the experience was remarkable. You know, we got in, we was greeted fairly well, as any other bowl game, I would guess. But here in Arizona, the hotel was very nice. Everybody we met or came across treated us well, from coaches to players. They always asked us how our day was going. You know, seemed like they cared a lot. And to me, that really sparked interest, because when you come to a different place or a different state, you really want to be taken in as their own. And I feel like that's what they did. And when we first got here, we had a practice on the 25th, letting us know that it's still about business, still about a bowl game. You know, but all the activities they had us do, like last night, we went to a rodeo. We also went to it's kind of a play, and that really sparked our interest in how Arizona is sought to be seen, I guess I would say. And I'm really thankful for like my coaches and my teammates for, you know, pushing us to get us here to the Arizona Bowl, and I'm thankful for you guys, and that's what I would say.
All right, I'll just open it up for questions. Now, if anybody's got any questions. Yes.
Kivon touched on how far they've come since he's been here, for 15 years. But how far have you seen Steve come this year?
Well, you know, I was listening to Kivon say that, and Kivon and I have had some conversations about, you know, when he first got here, how far the programs came and what they had then and what they don't have, or what they did have then and what they have now. And you know, and I tell these guys all the time, you know, one of the main reasons I'm here is because of guys like Kivon, you know, of what they are the ones that have had the consistent success on the football, which has enabled Colorado State to keep growing as an athletic department, as a football program. Guys like Kivon, the hard work, you know, he talks about, you know, the days pre-Under Armour, you know, the gear that they didn't have and the gear that they have now. And so Kivon's one of these guys that we always have to get up and address the football team and remind these guys how lucky they are and what they get, you know, and how grateful they should be for what they get and what they're going to continue to get. As far as our football program this year, what I've seen us change or grow, I would just say the number one thing is the continued growth in trusting each other. I say it all the time. You know, it's easy for us as a football coach and as football players to talk about trust and family and brotherhood and belief, but you know, you gotta experience those things. You gotta build relationships one at a time. You gotta go through some adversity. You know, and they had trust built up as a football team, but the trust between player and coach to player. Player's going to say, yeah, coach, I'm going to get it done because he wants to play, but there's a difference between really being all in, and I think you've seen us grow in that way, coach to player, player to coach throughout the season. You know, when you're 2-4 and 3-5, there are questions that are being asked, and I think we tried to, as a coaching staff and a support staff, to not change, whether we won or we lost, go about our business the same way week in and week out. And our business was the expectations and the standards were high of how we expected them to perform. And at the same time, you know, we had to listen to our players, and the players had to listen to the coaches, and we were able to grow through that process. And I saw us change and become a unified football team through the football season. And what I like to won every ball game and won every close game and found a way to grow together that way, yes. But sometimes you know, the things that you want to build, you have to go through some tough times, and adversity helps do that. And I think we're a tougher football team now. I think we're at a point now where the expectations and standards and disciplines of how I want this program run, guys like Kivon, you know, are part of that, a senior, and he's going to leave a legacy to guys like Deonte, who's going to help carry that on. And I made a statement the other day to somebody in our program. I think, you know, the number one way to help us be a consistent winner is we got to have consistency in this program. And that's coaches and players hearing the same message, and that's what we're trying to do.
Kivon, how long did it take you guys to get the initial shock at your bowl game for the conference game?
Took us about one day, maybe. We had a meeting on a Sunday night, and they told us that our game's going to be against Nevada. Right after that, a lot of guys in the training room getting treatment, and it was kind of down for a second. We're like, we would like a bigger opponent, things like that. But we came out the next day for a workout, and it was done. But by that point, we all had shifted our mentality. It doesn't matter who we play. Somebody's lining up across from us, so we have to do everything in our power to beat them. We have to be prepared. No matter if it's a high school team or if it's an NFL team, it doesn't matter who's lining up across from us. If you're lining up across from us, you're trying to take something from us. So we just got to be prepared and go out and get a win, no matter who's the opponent.
You talk regularly about adversity and how building character. Was there a moment this season, whether it was practice or halftime, that kind of sparked it when you got to make this season, that kind of clicked for you guys?
That comes to you.
Probably after the San Diego State game. We were, I think, we were 3-5 then. I believe we were 3-5. We were 2-4. Then we beat Air Force 3-4. We played San Diego State, who's obviously a great football team. They beat everybody in this league and won their bowl game handily. And we had them at home, and we just didn't play the way that I thought the way that I thought we should play as a Colorado State football team, the way that we'd been practicing, the way that we had been working. It was not coming to fruition on the football field. And we had our normal 4 turnovers that game. Every game we were having about 4 turnovers, but we were making mistakes. And that Monday, we just had a meeting. And usually I don't have a meeting on Monday other than to talk about the game and what we're going to move forward, what's kind of going to be the message this week. But this Monday, I kind of put a bunch of clips up there of offense, of defense, of special teams, and talked about things that were getting done and weren't getting done. And I wanted this football team, along with guys like Kivon and Trent Matthews and KP and Steve-O and Terry Jackson and all these seniors, to have a great year, because they're one of the reasons why I'm here. But at the same time, I wanted all of them to be part of what we're trying to do moving forward into the future. And I just, that Monday we let everybody know that it doesn't matter if you're a senior or a freshman. We're gonna get it done we're gonna get it done on the field. And if you don't do it on the field, you're not gonna play in the game. And from that point on, we kind of, we made a few more plays. I don't know if that meeting had anything to do with it, but from that point on, we have not lost a ball game. And it seems every guy's kind of saying, all right, we're going to roll up our sleeves. We're not going to win 10 like we did last year. We're not going to, each year's different, okay? But we had a choice to make going into the next week is we're either all going to be in or we're not. And I want everybody in. I want Kivon Cartwright. I want Trent Matthews. I want Kevin Pierre-Louis to go to another bowl game. I want you to finish your legacy strong, but you got to want to too. And those guys did, and they continued to carry the mantle and got all in. And I thought that was probably the turning point, if anything.
Considering the delay between last regular season game and this game, what are the things that you as a coach worry about staying sharp and focus on certain things in practice to make sure that they're up to being speed?
Yeah, you worry about a lot. It's been, probably over a month, hasn't it, since the last football game. And I know I've mentioned it to you guys that cover us locally several times. These guys have played in 2 straight bowl games, this being the third, 3 straight bowl games. That the first 2 that they played in were on the 19th of December. And there wasn't a long layoff between when they finished their regular season game and when they played the bowl game. We have a longer layoff here, so we tried to implement on 2 weekends that were recruiting weekends, 2 short practices on a Friday and a Saturday, and then the next weekend a Friday and Saturday. They were probably an hour and 5 minutes each practice. But basically, we just worked on fundamentals. They worked on competition, going against each other, keeping score in third down, keeping score in red zone, trying to keep their juices flowing for football, trying to do football-related functions and activities just to stay mentally and physically sharp as far as football. And then we got in Nevada when we got off the road recruiting and tried to do as much Nevada, get the whole game plan in before we broke for Christmas. So we tried to stay sharp, get the whole game plan in, and then we got the bowl game. It's been nothing but review. There's been a little bit of good on good, but not a lot. It's been mostly review. You're concerned about one, to be conditioning. There's a fine line of overworking the guys and then making sure they're prepared. You worried about how sharp you're going to be in some of the little things offensively and defensively and kicking game. But when you watch bowl games, they're kind of like first games a lot. When you watch bowl games across the country, sometimes there's those first game mistakes and first game jitters that you have, and we got to try to limit those. But we do have a veteran football team that I do think has approached the bowl practices the right way. For that practice we had on the 25th on Christmas Day, when some of our guys had to get up at 4 in the morning to fly and get here, it was probably one of the sharpest practices we had as far as retention and remembering what to do, which I was very pleased of where they were mentally. And I think we're in a good spot physically, but we'll see when we get out there how the tempo of the game and how everything's going to go happen.
Question for the players. It's always jarring in the program when there's a coaching change. Going back to when there was coaching change for you guys, with Coach Bobo coming in, can you describe what that period was like and how long it took for everyone to kind of get on board with the new regime?
Well, with Coach Bobo, it really didn't take long. I remember the first meeting we had with Coach Bobo, and as he came in, he was talking to us. He was explaining how blessed and how happy he was here, how happy he was to be at Colorado State, and he started to tear up. And when you see the emotional side of your coach at a very early stage, it kind of makes everybody buy in, makes everybody kind of gravitate to him. And I think that's what really got us over the hump of getting a new coaching staff and having a new coach. But once we saw him and how emotional he was and got around all the other coaches, how bought in they already was, it kind of was a no-brainer that we was going to buy in quick.
He's lying. He's still trying to figure it out.
I ain't lying, man.
Going off of what Deonte said, from a coach, being through other coaching, when a coach will actually get up in front of the team and cry and put his passions, in front of everybody, it's really special, because as it's easy for any coach to come in and talk about family, talk about commitment, talk about buying in. But when you see his true emotions, it makes the transition a lot easier. And even earlier in the season, if people had doubts, that there was no doubt in anybody's mind that Coach Bobo was not here for us and that he didn't care for us. So it makes it a lot easier to buy in.
For the players, I think you've seen during the full season, tackling and special teams seems to be those things that can make them swing again. Can you get a sense in practice? Are you guys honed in, focused, feel sharp in those areas?
Yes, sir. Those Friday and Saturday practices that Coach was talking about, the hour and 5-minute practices, those was really mostly about tackling and special teams. We had a whole bunch of competition drills that we hone in on every week that really highlights and points out what we need to do in the special teams area to get some turnovers and get some big plays out of the special teams. But from the defensive perspective, tackling and getting turnovers was always a big thing during our season. So when we had those Friday and Saturday practice, it was like getting back in camp again, getting your head across and forcing the ball out, stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
When it comes to facing an offense that obviously wants to establish the run, share the 1,000-yard run, how big of a challenge is that to try to stop?
Well, I think it's a big challenge. Those two backs are explosive. I had to do a talk back in Fort Collins, and the defensive graduate assistant, I said, just give me about 8 to 10 plays of, their offense. And I told her GA on defense, same thing. And I put on their offense, and this was like right after we, got assigned the bowl game. We were playing Nevada. I hadn't had a chance to look at them yet. And I'm like, there goes 20 for 70 yards. There goes 6 for 70 yards. It was like 6 plays in a row of big plays. And they're obviously a run-oriented offense first. So we've got to do a great job with assignment. We got to do a great job with our eyes in the right spot. As Mike was talking about, Deonte mentioned, we got to do a great job of tackling. And sometimes tackling is not always practicing live football, but it's being where you're supposed to be at the right time, reading your keys right and reacting fast, getting yourself in position to make the tackle. And we got to do a great job. They do a great job with the pistol and their zone read stuff where they, it's hard to set a front one way or the other with the backs behind. They do a great job of wrapping their tight ends around and create big plays. And the quarterback is probably not the runner that they had last year, but he's a very effective runner where he could get yards. So it's going to be a big challenge. Are we going to stop them completely? No, but we got to be able to stop them and make them do some things that they're not comfortable doing, get them in long yardage situations. Then we got to win the one-on-one battles outside too, because we're going to have to put an extra guy in the box, and they've got 2 receivers that are the tops of the conference in receptions and yards. So, it's going to come down to being in the right spot at the right time, and the guy's got to win the one-on-one battle. But, you could sit here with a chalkboard and draw up this front against this look and have a way to stop them. But at the end of the day, it's recognizing formations and reading your keys and making your adjustments if they're in unbalanced or not. And I feel real confident in our guys right now. I think the communication's at a high, watching them practice and listening to them call out the fronts and call out the adjustments. So I believe they're ready defensively.
You made some adjustments, you said, at the end of the year with your special teams, and they obviously showed up in an area that Nevada has had some struggles with. Is that something where you feel like you hit a peak in that area as you've gone on through the season?
Well, I believe, we've got to play our best players on special teams. I think sometimes we feel like and we want to give everybody on the team a chance to, to play. And I'm a firm believer you got to earn the right to play. You got to earn the right to play on the offensive down, the defensive down, or our special teams down. And I didn't feel like we were having our best players on some of the special teams. And we made some changes to get some more athletic guys in there, and I thought it paid dividends. Because I've said all along, I think Joe Hansley is one of the most dangerous guys if given some space. We just weren't getting him any space on punt returns. In this altitude that we played in the Mountain West, everybody's out kicking their coverage, and we couldn't get any return yards. It was driving me crazy. So I was like, let's put some guys on the punt return team that at least could give Joe Hansley some space, and we did, and he was able to reap the benefits of it. Yes, sir.
Charlie Sullivan, Campus Insider. It was interesting to listen to your players talk about the speech that you gave them, the emotional year ago. It's been a full year now.
Yeah.
And you're about to conclude year one of your reign here at Colorado State. I'm interested in what it must be like to reflect for you and your family on the year that you've just completed. And do you see this game as a way to demonstrate to the Colorado State fan base sort of what's been accomplished in year one and what lies ahead for you and your program?
Yeah. To be honest, I haven't reflected back yet. And, I'm kind of treating this game like I have any other football game. And that's going to work, preparing just like we would. And I don't, it is a bowl game, and it is a little bit different for the players. But like I told our coaches in our first staff meeting here, you need to tell your wives, you need to tell your children, we got a job to do. We're going to be here to work. I want our kids to have a good time. I want your wives to have a good time. I want your own children to have a good time. But our job is to make sure our guys are ready to play. We got to prepare that way. That's kind of been my focus. Now, I'm sure after this season, and I'll reflect back on the season and reflect back on what we accomplished this year and, how we can move forward and going into next year. Now, I said it earlier, though. I've been talking about finishing strong at the latter part of all year with these guys. And we do want to finish strong. But a bowl game is also about starting strong for the new year. It's Kivon passing the mantle to Deonte. So we'll be talking about some of those things. And, I can't say this, if I reflect back on anything, there hasn't been one day where I've woken up and said, what am I doing at Colorado State? I've enjoyed every minute of it, through the good and the bad times. I think that's what makes us stronger. And we're going to continue to have, great times ahead here at Colorado State. There'll be some times and some adversity that we got to fight through, but that's part of it. That's part of this great game of football. That's part of when you're dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds. That's what makes it special. And what makes it special is when you can figure it out and they accomplish something together. And we got a chance to accomplish something. We got a chance to finish With 8 wins, we got a chance to win 5 in a row, 6 out of 7. We got a chance to be bowl champs. And these seniors got a chance to leave a legacy that had been done a lot at Colorado State, going to 3 straight bowls, winning 2 out of 3. And it's something I know they're working hard for, and I know it's something Deonte and these other guys want to help continue in the future.
Deonte, we didn't get your thoughts on trying to stop the run game with a backer. How much do you enjoy that challenge for you guys just kind of trying to run it out?
It's a big challenge. These 2 backs are very, very explosive. But as a defense and as a front 7, we really like the challenges as we had against San Diego State, as we had against New Mexico, as we had against Air Force. Every down, every series, every play is really a challenge when it comes to the run, because everybody got to win their one-on-ones, and you got to have that want to get your head across to actually go want to make the tackle. That's where I feel like missed tackles come in at, because some teams, you just really get out of the tackling mode. It's the end of the year, you really don't feel like hitting anyone, but you got to have that want to, and you got to be up for that challenge.
I will say this, and Ray mentioned at the beginning, Deonte, was a guy that probably, if you looked on paper, was going to be penciled in as a starter to start the year. And it did happen that way. And he was a backup, but here's a guy that, he was down a little bit, but just continued to work day in and day out of practice, kept working. And when he would get an opportunity in the game, he made the most of it. And then we inserted Deonte in the Air Force game as a starter. And from that point on, we've really, really played a lot better defensively. And I think a lot has to do with his communication and him being able to mark out the calls, the signals, and get everybody on the same page, and the confidence and the other 10 guys having him when he's on the field, because it is his ability to understand what the offenses are doing. And really proud of him, of how he just kept working. And now he's been given his opportunity. He's continued to improve week after week, and I expect nothing less of him and his guys to play very well on Saturday.
Hey, Coach, there was some reports out there that when all the bowl stuff was unfolding, that you guys had the option of who you wanted to play and chose Nevada. What were some of the reasons why you wanted to play Wolfpack?
No, I didn't have a choice to play anybody. If I would have chose, we'd have played Alabama. That's not a true report. I didn't have a choice to play anybody. I was told where we were going, and I said, yes, sir, when we leave it, and we'll be ready to go. But
Kivon, touching a little bit on Mike, you know how you viewed this program when you first showed up. How do you view it as you exit it now that you've had this run of success?
Now I view it as the top program in the nation. From what everybody. From everybody buying into the program, from coaches really buying into the program. Now we have a nutritionist, our wait staff, and everything else, recruits that are coming. I view it as a very top-notch, prestigious program. And our third floor, everybody that runs the administration, they're really doing everything that they can to invest in this program to make it a top-notch program. So I view it as on the rise, definitely on the rise.
Kivon, is it going to be emotional for you?
Every time I step out on the field, it's a blessing from God, that I'm here, from all that I've been through, to be able to play the game that I love, in front of my family and friends and everybody. So every game that I step on the field is very emotional, for all of us. But being my last game, it definitely will be emotional. It'll be the last time. We were talking about this earlier in our team meeting. The last time that this team will be together. And these are guys that I've built relationships with and bonds with for years, and this is the last time that this group will be together on the field, so it definitely will be emotional. No, just like Bobo said, he hasn't really reflected yet, and he probably won't reflect until it's all over. Right now we have a mission to do. There's a goal at hand. We have to beat Nevada, so that's really all of the focus is at right now.
How do you handle that sort of every sense of urgency as a senior, knowing the clock is ticking, you obviously want to go into the game, execute? How do you deal with it?
Yeah, all you can do is just soak up every moment. Even the bus rides over to the stadium, the bus rides last night. Just cherish every moment that you have, like the time in the hotel room with the guys, and our players' lounge, and just everywhere. And although it is ticking down, you want to make the most of that. So staying in the now, focusing on every practice, and just getting better in any way that you can. That's really how you deal with it.
Guys, I asked Coach earlier this week what he saw in that 4-game win streak that impressed him to close out the season. He said physicality and learning to play the team, trusting each other. Could you guys talk about each of your units, offense and defense, and what you've seen personally, the players around you, as they have grown in that 4-game win streak?
Honestly, from a defense perspective, I would say the confidence and actually honing in and getting good at what we want to do as a defense. And that's really what propelled us. We know we're physical, and we know we can make plays as a defense. But being confident in what you're doing and having everybody on the same page as a defense, that can be scary for an opponent.
Yeah, and on offense, it's definitely confidence and just execution. And like Coach Bobo was talking about, trusting in the play calls. Players got to trust in coaches got to trust in players. You know, just for an offense to be successful, you need 11 guys to fire on all cylinders every play for offense to work, for any play to work, you know. So our game plans, everybody really knows our game plans in and out. We don't know not only what we're doing, but we know why we're doing it. So it helps everybody play fast, and our minds are at ease. We're confident in the game plan, and we're confident in the player next to us. So, you know, our only focus is not on scoring big touchdowns every play. Our focus is on everybody doing their job every play, and you know, everything else will come with it.
No, not for me. You know, we've sat down and we've visited, but that's a conversation that remained private between myself and Richard. But I believe you can ask these guys. I treat Richard like anybody else on this football team, and expect him to, you know, work just as hard, and he has. And I know a lot of times it was a big point of conversation throughout the year is Richard's touches and Richard's catches. But you know, you're going through change. One of a new head coach, a new system, a new quarterback, new things. You know, things are different, and sometimes change isn't easy. Sometimes change doesn't go the way we want it as an individual. Maybe it's not the way Richard wanted. Maybe he wanted to catch 100 balls. But I think if you ask Richard, I think if you ask Kivon, I think if you ask Deonte, all we want to do is we want to work our tails off and put ourselves in a position to win the football game. We really don't care who gets the credit. And I think that's where Richard's mindset has been going into this ball game. That's his mindset going to be tomorrow during the game. It's not going to be, I need to catch X number of balls to help me if I'm going to go pro or if I'm not. It's going to be do everything to help this football team win this football game. But that's part of college football. That's part, you know, we're not the only program in America that's dealing with juniors that are deciding whether they're going to go pro. You got to handle it by being honest and upfront with that individual. You got to tell them what you feel. You got to tell them what the information that comes from the NFL is. That it's nothing that you have anything to do with. You can present it to them, and then and then you help them make the best decision for them. At the end of the day, the decisions are on an individual basis. It's their decision, and I want what's best for every player on our football team. Every coach, what's best for them and their family. And ultimately, whatever decision that they do make, I'm still going to love them and support them. You know, but I don't think it's been a distraction at all. He's worked hard, he's been into it, and I expect him to play well tomorrow.
Yeah, with Coach Summers leaving in the past week or so, how much has your guys' previous relationship with Coach English as a defensive coordinator kind of helped that transition in the last couple of practices?
It's helped tremendously. Coach Summers was a great coach and even a better person. And when opportunity presents itself like that, I feel like everybody has dreams and everybody has goals. And I feel like he couldn't pass that up. And Coach English is really one of those guys who takes the whole team, the whole defense under his wing. Because everybody knows him. He's been here for a while. He's been in the Colorado area for a while. So he knows a lot of the players. And everybody just really goes under his wing. And he's like a father figure to us all. So it makes us play that much harder, you know, for him.
One last question. Do we have it?
2 words to describe this group. You have a
2 words. Relentless competitors. Relentless competitors.
Tenacious. Perseverance.
I was thinking resilient, but I didn't have 2 words. I was just thinking they've been very resilient, but their ability to bounce back week after week and come back focused and come back to work, win or loss. And that's something I've been proud of. Mondays have been some of our best practices, whether we've won or lost a game. It shows that you got some mature football team. It shows you got guys that believe in what you're saying. I'm a firm. I tell them all the time that there's no perfect offense, perfect defense, perfect life, perfect anything. It's what you believe in. If you believe in it, it's got a chance to be successful. And I feel like we believe now, and we gotta go do it again. We've worked hard, and we put ourselves in a position to make some plays tomorrow. But they're not going to hand it to us. We got to go win it on the 29th. I always say the 29th. I want to say Saturday because I don't even know what day of the week it is right now. What day of the week is it? Monday? Monday.
Yeah.
Okay, tomorrow. We're going to win on the Tuesday. Be ready to play on Tuesday. But, you got to believe. You got to work hard at that plan, and you got to go out. You got to, I always say we got to earn the right to win on Saturday. I think we've earned the right. Now we got to go. We got to go take it. We got to go get it. So I'm excited about that, and excited about the game tomorrow. I'm excited about these guys playing one more time with this group of young men. Been proud of what they've done. I know they're proud of what they've done and how they've done it, and we just got to finish the right way, finish strong. Thank you.